Hi, I'm Katie. Welcome to Yoga Awakening and welcome to your practice. So this class is designed for you after a long day. So take a moment, pause the video if you need to, get something comfortable on. Maybe that means even your pajamas. You can certainly go right to bed after this class if you like. So we'll be doing a little bit of movement to get started. I designed this class thinking about this sort of long day where maybe you're coming to the end of the day and you're feeling a little bit computer or phone weary. Maybe you've been sitting a lot during the day. Maybe the mind has been really active and maybe you're a little bit tired or anxious and you don't want to do a lot of movement, but you want a little something. So that's what we'll do in this class today. Moving a little, getting into the body, getting out of the thinking mind, and then transitioning into sleep. This practice, you'll want a block if you have it. You can certainly do the whole practice without anything. We'll just be using it near the end for one pose. If you don't have a block, you could also grab a big book, wrap it up in a towel. That's usually, I think, the best substitute. Or maybe if you have kind of a thick towel, you could roll that into a log shape. So have that somewhere handy if you have it. And we'll get started. So we'll start here in a seat. You're also welcome to, of course, sit the hips up on a blanket if you have that nearby. Take a moment to close the eyes. Allow the hands to rest wherever they do naturally. Let's take a few rounds of breath together. So to do that, you'll inhale in through the nose, and then I invite you to exhale out through the mouth with pursed lips. So I'll show you what that looks like, and then we can practice for a few rounds together. So on the inhale, inhaling normally, big breath in, without forcing. And then exhale, pursing the lips out through the mouth. So without forcing the breath to be deeper than it wants to be, so maybe it starts out with some shorter inhales and shorter exhales, and then see what happens from there. We'll take about 3 rounds together, and you can follow your own pace. So inhaling in through the nose, exhale, pursed lips, sort of like you're blowing out a candle in front of you. Feel the upper body relax. Take one more round wherever you are. Breathe out all the air. And then go back to breathing naturally. We'll take a stretch for the side of the neck, and then getting into the upper traps here can often be a little bit bothersome, especially after a long day at a desk. So we'll start over on the left. Bring your left hand behind, and I'm not mirroring you here, so I have my left hand behind as well. And then I like to even grab around kind of the upper right arm here as sort of a nice bind to keep me in the shape. If your hand doesn't reach all the way there, that's fine. You can just place it anywhere behind you on the mat. And then on your exhale, send the head over towards the right. So you're getting hopefully a little bit of a tug through the left side of the neck. Maybe you can feel that wrapping around a little bit towards the back body. And you could, of course, continue with that pursed lip exhale anytime you like throughout the practice. Maybe thinking about making the exhale a little bit longer. I really like that breath to sort of calm any anxiety or frustration. Especially maybe if the breath isn't feeling so deep yet, we're not quite there. That can be a nice one to sort of feel the fullness of the exhale happening. So take a couple more moments here, just letting the right ear fall towards the right shoulder, but without forcing it there. See if you can relax the muscles of the hips, finding that grounding through the low body, but without tension. Just feeling yourself landing here on the mat as we start to set aside whatever we've been thinking about or attending to throughout the day. Great, let's drop the chin to the chest. Release the left arm, left hand back to wherever it was before, somewhere along the leg. And then we'll lift the chin and take that to our second side. So right hand behind, you can grab around for the left arm, or hand anywhere behind you. And as you take your exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Let your mind focus in on whatever sensation you're feeling now along the right side of the neck. Can you let the belly soften? Notice you've been maybe holding it in throughout the day. Can you now let it soften as you breathe? And chin to chest. Release the right hand, place it back on top of the thigh. And back to center. Start to take some circles with the torso. We'll move in one direction to start. You might start out a little bit smaller, kind of feeling that shifting weight across the sitting bones. The backs of the thighs on the mat. And then if you like, you could start to think about that cat and cow pose, so maybe allowing the spine to round as you come back. And the chest forwards as you come forwards. Great, we'll take that in the opposite direction. So feel how moving the pelvis moves the spine. And then from there, the shoulders. From there, the whole rest of the body. Start to make your circles smaller. like to see how small I can make the circles. So maybe just the pelvis is moving and there's very little movement through the torso. Connecting a little more subtly. And wind your way back to stillness. We'll extend the right leg out. And then left heel coming in towards center. So I'm sort of in this open Janu Sirsasana, or what we sometimes call a half butterfly or half dragonfly pose here. Sit up nice and tall. This is a great one to have something to sit up on, especially if you feel like that low back is starting to round. Plant your right hand and we'll send it up into a side body stretch. We're not looking for the deepest stretch you can get yourself into. We're just looking to start to feel our way into the body. Maybe the body is feeling a little bit tight or a little bit finicky. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Come through center, opposite side body stretch. Then I'll move my left hand a little bit further behind me. I'd like to have a little bit more space. And then I'm going to lift the hips up. Come into sort of, well, I like to think it was a little baby wild thing. So it doesn't have to be a big move. Lift the hips, feel that opening through the front of the body, support of the left hand. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. We're coming into a twist, seated on the opposite side with our legs just like they are. As you're ready, make your way there. Feel the arms move you in. Right hand comes behind. Twisting over towards the right. Make your way back to center. And we'll come to the other side. Extend the left leg. Now your right heel is coming in towards center. Your widened Janu Sirsasana. And we'll take our side stretch over towards the left. Left hand down. Maybe noticing some sensation there through the back of the left leg. Maybe in some other places as well. Of course, through the right side of the body. Maybe you can find a little bit of joy here and just feeling the body again after a full day. As you circle back towards yourself. And let's take our side body stretch, opposite side. Keeping a little awareness through the left leg. And then I'll bring my right hand a little further back behind so I have a little bit more space just to lift the hips. Inhale, and then exhale, we're moving into the twist. So left hand will come behind you. See if you can find that nice movement through the torso as you make your way there. back through to center. We'll take it to all fours. And we're going to move here through a really simple flow. So first pose, cow pose, drop the belly. Second pose, child's pose, we're just sitting the hips back towards the heels as far as you get. Use your exhale, start to feel that curling under of the tailbone as the spine rounds, hips back towards heels. And that is the whole flow. Inhale, come forwards, belly drops. Exhale, round, hips back. Move at your own pace. Feeling that wave of the spine. If you like, you could add on a little cobra pose. Maybe the next time you come into your cow, start to lower the hips as you bend the elbows. Or you could stay right with your cow to child's. Take another full round wherever you are. So finding that extension of the spine. And then the flexion. Make your way back to tabletop. And we'll step the right foot in between the hands. Low lunge. Pause here for just a moment, and you can allow the hips to sink towards the floor. So I give you permission to sink into it a little bit as we get started. Find that stretch. Great, now let's connect a little bit towards center. We're just going to lift up into our low lunge. So maybe you lift out a fraction, arms up and overhead. Deep breath in. On the exhale, shift the hips back, hands come down to the mat, runner's lunge. And the right knee can be really generously bent. Again, this is not our deepest stretch. No need to go as far as you can. We'll repeat that one more time. Inhale, low lunge. Let the hips sink down for a minute there. Find that subtle connection towards center. I just like to draw my sitting bones a little bit further back. And inhale, arms up and overhead. On the exhale, send it back, runner's stretch. Feel free to round the spine. Inhale through center, plant the palms, step it back, tabletop. Second side, left foot comes in between the hands, and we pause here. Letting the weight of the hips drop down. Connect to center. Inhale, arms overhead. On your exhale, hands come to the mat, sitting bones back. Runner stretch. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, roll through the foot to plant. Arms overhead. Exhale. Runner's lunge. Feel this connection to the body that you're creating. Creating with your attention, with your awareness, with your breath. And let's come on through, make your way back to your tabletop. And we'll transition onto the back. So get there any way you like. I like to just cross my ankles and come on through. And then this will be the place for your block or your book. You can also do it without the prop, and it will be a similar shape. So we'll come on down to the back. And then if I have my prop with the feet on the floor, I'll lift the hips up just enough so I can send that prop on its lowest height, right underneath the pelvis. And then from there, I'll just pause for a moment to feel the low back sort of fall and drape off the prop. So hips and pelvis supported, and then the low back just free there to sink down. Extend your left leg and hug the right knee in towards the chest. Coming into this stretch for the psoas. So a big and deep muscle there in the front of each hip. You might even bring your palm to the top of the left hip. Or both hands can wrap around the right knee. And the opening here might be quite subtle, or it might be more intense. And if it is intense, you could always prop something underneath the heel or remove your prop. Another moment here, let the hips sink down into the support of whatever is underneath them. And then see if you can let the rest of the weight of the body follow. We'll switch sides, hug the left knee in, extend the right leg. Heel to the mat or maybe a folded blanket. This is sort of the perfect pose to do after a long day of sitting. Just changing up the where the hips and legs have been throughout the day. Letting them open in this different position. Release on your second side. We'll lift the hips up just enough to slide the block out from underneath. You can stay right where you are. I'm just going to set my block off to the side. And we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh and take it into a figure 4. Now you should feel some nice weightiness of the back body. Grounding down into the earth underneath you. Let's take it over to our second side. Left ankle to cross on top and interlace the fingers behind the thigh. Relish in this opportunity for stillness and quiet. This time that you're taking to become really present. Present not only with the body and the breath, but through them also with the whole of the being. Let's release. Feet come back to the mat. We'll just take one more pose here, really simple. Widen the feet, maybe even mat's distance apart. And then I'll release the arms anywhere off to the sides. Then I'll start to drop the knees to one side and to the other side. Hopefully you don't have a couch right next to you and you have a little more space to send the knees side to side. Taking up whatever space you have there, wherever you're practicing. Maybe you're right next to your bed thinking about sleep. Move through the two sides for a few more moments. And we'll end here in this shape. So no Shavasana. Hopefully this practice will take you right into your Shavasana for the whole night. But of course, if you're going to be moving around a little bit more after this, maybe you have a few last things to attend to, you could certainly add a couple minutes of Shavasana here. Just allowing the video to finish and taking a few final moments of that quiet and stillness. One more full round And you can stay right where you are. Maybe extending the legs for that Shavasana, or maybe you're ready to sit up and start to transition into sleep. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste. See you next time.